Well, good morning, Transplant Helper community. My name is Jim Merle, and I want to pause for just a moment or two today and share with you a very, very interesting question I actually saw over on the Heart Transplant Support Group's Facebook page that I think you could really enjoy answering, and I think it could really get us to talking quite a bit here on this channel. But before I go any farther, let me kind of do a mini commercial for the Heart Transplant Support Group. If you are a heart transplant recipient and you're not already a member of that private closed group, you need to go over and check it out. It's by far the most active, informative, encouraging pages I think you can be a part of on Facebook, period, particularly as a heart transplant recipient. So if you're not already a member of that, go ahead and check it out. I happen to be one of the moderators, but anyway, still my unbiased opinion, a great group, and you would definitely enjoy it, and you'll get a lot of benefit out of being a part of that group. Now, with that being said, this question was not actually posed by the page itself. It was actually posed by one of its members who happens to be a great friend of the program. Her name is Vanetta House Davis, and she's always a tremendous encourager. She's always in the comments of my videos as well as here on the Heart Transplant Support Group page, kind of giving a lot of insight and information, helping people. But she posed this question. I just thought it was a wonderful question that we could all answer together. Here's what she says. What is your biggest accomplishment since transplant? So the question, what is your biggest accomplishment since transplant? Now, she answered the question herself and said, mine is that I completed 2 four-year degree programs within 2 years. Vanetta, I got to say, that is impressive. My brother happens to be kind of a lifelong student, and I mean by that he's been in school for like 25 years, and he's always going back to do something else. My wife as well currently has 3 degrees. She's working on her 2nd master's degree, which would make her 4th degree. So I know what being a student is all about, and I know what doing an intensive program like a 4-year degree would require. Being compacted in 2 years is all about as well. So let me say congratulations to you on that. That is certainly impressive. If I had to answer the question for myself, and I will right now, I would say by far my biggest accomplishment post-transplant is in that we have actually adopted 3 children into my household since the time of transplant. Now, back up before transplant and all that, my wife and I already had 2 children by birth. We love our children to death. We were having, a wonderful life along with them. But as my heart began to fail and things got worse and worse, it became questionable that I was even going to be alive in 6 months, let alone if we had any other potential or possibility for having additional children. So it became pretty much clear that was not going to happen. And me and my wife had always kind of talked about in the background that if and when I got a transplant and if and when I did well, that we would try to take children in our home under foster care situations or adoption or what have you. And the wonderful news is it was about, I think, a year or so, maybe a year and a half post-transplant, we were able to actually start doing that. We fostered in our home now, I think, 15 or 17 different children along the way. And we've actually adopted 3 little girls that are absolutely my pride and joy. Of course, bringing our family total up to 7, including my 18-year-old daughter, my 14-year-old son, and then those children currently 6, 5, and 4 years old. Yeah, that's a challenge, the 6, 5, and 4 years old. They're not nearly as challenging as they were when they were like 1, 2, and 3 years old, but nonetheless, a big challenge, but definitely a rewarding experience. I would say by far, my biggest accomplishment personally post-transplant is being able to adopt children, to grow my family, and to just have all the more people in my household to love. So that's a huge accomplishment. Now, I won't read them, but I would invite you. I'm going to try to get a link to this if I can. I don't know if that's possible. But directly to this question in the comments, if you want to go over and follow that link, I challenge you to scroll through these comments. Currently, as I'm looking at it now, there are 59 comments that have been added below this question right here. And I found every one of them to be definitely encouraging / entertaining to hear the answers that people are giving. And there's so much good being done in the world right now by these 59 people and so many more that I'm sure are awaiting the comment or could tell their story if they chose to. There's so much good being done. The world is such a brighter place because of transplant and because of the people who live the transplant life. So again, the question that is posed, again, thank you for supplying this question. I'm just sharing it again. What is your biggest accomplishment since transplant? Comment underneath the video here over on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you're finding it. And yeah, we'll share our stories and we'll encourage one another. Thank you so much. I hope every one of you are doing great. Huge shout out to you, Vanetta, and all of you stay stronger.